Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's the end of the month, and lately, at the end of each month, we've been doing a cumulative look at all of the income both of my portfolios have generated. So this is my stocks as well as my crypto, as well as my total net worth. And along with that broad overview, I also want to take a more specific look at Divo and see how this investment in particular is going, because I've had this one the longest, I think. It's about 9 months that I've been holding and investing in Divo. So sit down, get comfortable, and if you guys enjoy having this first-person view of what it looks like to build wealth and have it snowball over time, go ahead and leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel. It's all greatly appreciated, and it does indeed really help out the channel in terms of YouTube spreading it around. Okay, so Divo, let's get right into this. If we come to my activity page, filtered by Divo and by trading, we can see that I began this position with $2,000 on July 2nd, 2021. So it's about 9 months exactly, actually. And ever since then, on a random basis, apparently, I've been incrementally increasing my position, and somewhat unfortunate for me in terms of timing, on October 19th, I added another $1,700 to this position. And to put it visually, this is the 1-year price action of Divo, and right here, July 2nd is where I initiated my position. And as you guys saw, I slowly averaged in over this time, but October 19th, so right around here, is where I made that other pretty large deposit. So that was pretty close to the top, and ever since then, there's been a ton of volatility with Divo and just the rest of the market. But if we zoom out a little bit, the amount of volatility that Divo has experienced recently is a lot less than that of the market. So here we can see directly that Divo does have less volatility in both directions. And it's important to keep in mind that this is just the price action, so it doesn't include the returns from dividends. In fact, this is what the total return of these assets look like over the past 1 year, so it's a lot more close. Even so, in 2021, Divo did underperform the S&P 500, but so far in 2022, it's also holding up better. So that's the nature of this investment. But getting back to my portfolio, I'm still up 7.68% on this investment over the past 9 months that I've been investing in it, and that's even considering the market that we're in and with my poor timing when it comes to my investments. But let's come back to this page and filter by dividends from this investment, because as an income investor, this is what really gets me excited, to see this growing income over time. So on July 30th, I got my first monthly dividend payment of $10.42. And as I reinvested my dividends and made additional deposits, we can see how that number grew. Now, I haven't made any huge contributions to Divo since about November, and we can see how the dividend payments have stagnated a little bit. And if we come to the dividend history of this ETF, I do have to admit that the growth rate has been rather lackluster in the past 2 years. We can see the most recent payment of 15 cents per share is almost identical to the payment we had back in January of 2021 of also 15 cents per share. So when it comes to my investment in Divo, I've been very happy with how it's been preserving its value during a lot of this market volatility, and it's been driving consistent monthly cash flow. I just wish that monthly cash flow was growing at a bit of a faster pace. But overall, I still am very bullish on Divo. I think it's a very high quality ETF that will continue to steadily increase its value as well as increase their dividend payments. Okay, so that's my latest thoughts and updates on my position in Divo. But now let's go ahead and pivot to see how my overall portfolio did over the past 1 month and how much income it generated. Okay, so these are the major income producing assets within my portfolio. We have XYLD, Divo as we just talked about, JEPI, and BST. Divo and XYLD did the best. They're both up roughly 4%. JEPI is a little bit below that at 3.3%, and BST being the most different of the group, focusing a lot more on growth and technology stocks with the covered calls to generate income, is essentially flat. In terms of their yield, XYLD currently has a yield of over 12%, and their most recent payout was 50 cents per share. Divo has a dividend yield of 4.83%, and they just paid out, as we saw previously, 15 cents per share. BST has a dividend yield of 7%, and as mentioned, this one is very different, and it's actually a closed-end fund, meaning that they have managed distributions. So currently, those distributions are 25 cents per share. And finally, that leaves us with JEPI, and they have a dividend yield of 9%. Although JEPI has yet to pay out their dividend for the month of March, and they're always the last one to pay out, so I'm just going to use the previous month's payout as a proxy. So coming back to my portfolio, going to activity, filtering by dividends, this is the actual income my portfolio has generated in the month of March. Now, as mentioned, this is excluding JEPI because they have yet to pay, and you're also going to see some other names like the S&P 500 and VUG. They pay dividends on a quarterly basis, and they're not my primary income plays, although the income is always appreciated. So BST, with their managed distributions, paid me $29.60. That's one of my highest monthly dividend checks. And just in general, I think BST is a great addition to my portfolio. It is extremely volatile and hasn't been performing super well over the past couple months, but it gives me a lot of exposure to growth and tech companies that I otherwise wouldn't have, and it still gives me the income that I desire. Following that, we have the dividend payment from Divo, which is $25.14 for the month. Below that, we have just the basic S&P 500. They paid a quarterly dividend of $9.49, and they currently have a dividend yield of, I think, 1.4%. Below that, we have the dividend payment from XYLD, and they, of course, write at the money covered calls on the S&P 500, and the whole point of this strategy is to raise income. So if I go to that section of my portfolio, we can see how I use these two assets together to both give me exposure to the S&P 500, as well as generate consistent income off of it. And they paid me a pretty massive dividend of $28.76. And also below that, we have VUG, which is a Vanguard Growth ETF, and they paid me a measly $3.90. And altogether, that paid me $96.89. But remember, that's excluding JEPI, and they're actually one of my, if not my biggest dividend payers, last month paying me $46.13. So if you add roughly $45 to this figure, that's a total monthly income of $141. So that's my stock portfolio, but I also generate some interest off of my crypto portfolio. Now, crypto is extremely volatile. If I zoom out over the past 12 months, the value of this portfolio goes all over the place, but at least I do generate a rather consistent monthly interest off of it. And for the month of March, they paid me $102.23. So putting those two numbers together, that leaves me a total passive monthly income of $244, which is one of the highest ever. The income generated off of my crypto assets are kind of all over the place, but in terms of my dividend income, we can see how it's been steadily growing over time, and I'm very excited to fill out the rest of this chart over the coming year. If we take a look at the value of both of these portfolios over time, we can see that together they have a value of $74,908. And just like with the interest payments, crypto here really affects the numbers because it's so volatile. But still, if we plot them on a graph, both the income as well as my net worth are both increasing. So I'm definitely still in the early phases of my investing career, but I'm already beginning to see the effects of compounding at play. Every dollar I save up and invest is both appreciating along with the market over time, as well as working hard to generate me income. And this cash balance of $206, I did not deposit. This is all dividend payments that's going to be reinvested back into my portfolio to help boost my income next month. And that right there is the helping hand of compound interest. But that's going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you're still watching, of course, I appreciate a like on the video. Go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment down below on how much dividend income you generated in the month of March. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.